Okay guys, so I wanted to do a garden update, and this is a follow-up video to starting plants indoors. I have some of the plants that were started indoors, then I did buy additional plants from the store just so I can get a comparison of how mine are doing. So most of the original seeds died because we had a couple frosts and I had moved and I had put them on the deck. So now I'm learning that you cannot put your plants outside until you're absolutely sure about the last frost. So these are hot pepper seeds that I planted. These are 3 weeks old, and initially I had gone to Lowe's and bought some really cheap $2 topsoil, and I don't think they were doing that well. So what I did, I went and bought some organic compost, took the saplings, seedlings out, remix this in the soil with a little mulch at the top, then put them back in. So this is how they look. I'm gonna drain those later. We got a lot of rain yesterday, but most of my plants I had left out here for 3 days and they had just dried up. So this is important. I had to move everything on the deck to a shaded area, even though the instructions for these said direct sun. It doesn't mean blazing hot direct sun, so you have to keep that in mind. These are 3 weeks old, I think, and they took forever to come up. I guess hot peppers have a longer germination period. These are my bell peppers. These are 3 weeks old bell peppers. Okay, this is cabbage. This is my 3-week-old cabbage. This is how it is right now. So these I had already, from the January batch, I had already grown and used most of my fresh herbs. So this is my second batch because I learned a lot of better things now. So these are some things to note. Lettuce. All my seeds are either from the dollar store or from the Home Depot with the multi-pack, $4.99 for 4. So basically $1 per pack of whatever herbs. Very cheap. I just wanted to see how they did compared to other more expensive brands. And lettuce and oregano, I'm telling you, they take forever to grow. This lettuce, 3 weeks old. This is where we're at. That's where we're at. And I heard that lettuce grows very quickly, so maybe I had a bad batch of seeds, but that's where I am. If anybody has some experience growing lettuce, they can leave some tips below. Initially this was oregano and parsley and basil. Never came up. The oregano and parsley never ever came up, and the basil was doing so good, so I just took them from where they were and spread them out everywhere, and they've been doing pretty good. This is how they're looking at 3 weeks. I have bird netting here, sorry. This is dill. The dill at 3 weeks. I don't know what dill can be used for, but I saw it was in the pack, I got it. This is the best. This is this one. This is the oregano. And that's not correct. This is the basil that I was growing, and this is the one I said, how is it going to grow if I put one seed versus just sprinkling all the seeds on top? And I can see that since that one is sharing its own container, it's growing better. Look at the leaves, much better than the ones that have to share all the nutrients with multiple plants. Maybe tomorrow I'm going to look at which ones are doing the best and take all the small ones out. And I said the parsley never came up, but now I'm looking. This is 3 weeks, I said, right? So this is 2 days ago. I haven't been here, but now I'm seeing that there's a little parsley popping up here all of a sudden. So 3 weeks, I must have put at least 9 seeds here and only 1 came up after 3 weeks. This is in the same area, but these are store-bought. I got these at Lowe's as sticks. I'm telling you, like, I don't have a good example, but literally I have a piece of twig here. Just imagine the twig is thicker, and it was this these two main twigs here, dried, and then $12.99, right? And I should have saved them for you, but my kids have been picking off the blueberries. So these were bought in February and then as twigs, and look how they are right now. We've had literally every week 1 or 2 baby blueberries on here. It's not a ton. I got these as sticks and they actually did bear fruit within the first, what is this? Not even 6 months. So that's pretty good, I think. But it's $13, and I was wondering if some weeds here. I was wondering if you buy just the roots, the bare roots, how they would be compared to buying this more expensive option. In the back, also $12.99. I got this from my mom, but I just never had a chance to bring it to her. I bought these also in February. This one never had any fruit. This one started with 2, I don't know what they're called, stems, dried stems, and now they are actually spreading even at the root. I see I have extra additional branches here, but the one that came with multiple, I think this had 4 or 5, it's bared no fruit, because I was told that I should not expect to have any fruit within the first year. So that seems to be the correct thing. In here, I have no idea. At the same time that I bought the other, oh, here's the price for the blueberry, $12.98. And this is the size container you get. It might seem expensive to have 2 to 3 blueberries a week for that price, but it's worth it for me because the kids love it. These are flowers that I got. These were planted in April. It's now June. I don't remember what I put in there. Some bluebells and daffodil seeds, but this is where we're at after 2 months. And this one, these are new lettuce that I planted 2 weeks ago. Lettuce, rosemary, and I also had sage in here. So I haven't seen any rosemary that's up, but literally I have lettuce that was planted during the winter. Nothing's coming up, and these are already doing better than those. So I guess it's not, just wait. Don't be impatient. Just wait until the right season to plant the lettuce. I did buy for $3.99 store-bought lettuce, but was not worth it. I never got to eat anything off of there. They just became firm and bitter. So look how beautiful. I don't know, I guess maybe meat dishes, but these sage are so pretty, and they did so good. This is only 1 to 3 weeks of growth. This is all the rosemary. Nothing came up. Wait, okay, I'm seeing one little baby thing, but either I had a bad batch or it takes a really long time for that to germinate. Back here I had another cabbage that I had separated and put it here, and these are also some random flowers. I can't remember now. Let me see if I labeled it. No, I can't remember now what I put there. Another cabbage. This is my experimentation to see if I different type of soil combinations that I had, how they would do. The first one that I showed you was with the topsoil and maybe some compost at the top. This one was with some soil from the backyard. I had mulch in the backyard. I mixed it up just by itself. Not doing much better. These are the bell peppers that I planted indoors in my apartment in the winter. And look how many blueberries. At first they looked like they were dying, but look how many blueberries. Not blueberries. Look how many bell peppers I have now. So getting this from seeds, I planted must about 20 seeds, and I got only two plants out of that. That's the bell pepper. So for $1, not bad for $1. So that's actually worth it. It's just a little frustrating to wait for months and months and months before you see something, but in the right temperature, everything is blooming. This is another blueberry that I transplanted immediately into a bigger pot to see if I change the pot and put fresh soil, how it would do compared to the one that I leave in the pot. So this is doing much better. I have bird netting here. I don't know if you can see, but I have blossoms coming all the time off here. And you can see from the little, I guess my kids have already picked these today. They've been picking them here. There's a lot. And you see more coming out. A lot of blossoms. And there is some blueberries here, everywhere. So this one maybe have dozens a week of blueberries once I transplant it in the pot. So this is all organic soil, organic compost. I don't have any additional fertilizer here. The other two I literally left in the pots the way they were. And this is much taller. The net is kind of bearing it down, but it's much taller. So at first I thought the bigger the size, the less fruit, but actually once I changed the soil, it was doing better. Okay. Alright, so all the cabbages that I planted in the winter, I did one with organic soil and a bigger container by itself, one seed. I never transplanted it, and look at the size of this baby. Much better. So it's better to just plant one seed and really fertilize it than to put a lot together. Okay. Alright, so back here I have store-bought, I think this is from Lowe's, $17.98, store-bought tomatoes, because I plant tomatoes and strawberries and they just died on me. So this, I'm picking about a dozen tomatoes a week since the beginning of June. $17.98, not bad. For the soil, it said I would have 3 months without having to fertilize this, and it seems to be doing fine. I did some research and it says better to cut the branches that are coming off here, because initially I didn't have any tomatoes, and once I cut off the little branches that are not the primary branches, this thing was flourishing. And anytime I saw dead leaves, I immediately cut it off. And look at this, guys, so many flowers. And these, I didn't see these last week, so these ones are all popping up within 1 week. So that's $17.98, getting dozens of fresh tomatoes every week. All right, back here, peppermint that I not planted from scratch, but I bought one plant from Lowe's, $3.98, and then I cut the soft, not the firm one at the bottom, but the soft part of the stem, and put it in water for 3 days. I didn't see any roots come out in 3 days like some people were showing on YouTube, but I cut it off and planted in the soil after 3 days. And this is, over there is the original plant. The label is there, it says spearmint, and that was, I don't remember, $2.98, $3.98. And then I cut it, these are the trimmings, and transplanted it, and it's doing better to me. Look at the sizes. So I was able to get a secondary plant from doing that. I'm going to do a third. I'm going to cut off the tops of these and do a third container, see how they do without soaking them in the water for 3 days. Another blueberry, I don't know, I became afraid because I had bought the blueberry, just the stems like I mentioned. It came with like a brown pole like that and like 2 to 3 dry stems. And I went back to the store Mine were still brown. I went back to the store and I saw them already green like this. I went and got a green one. But then since then, this one from the store has never grown. But the ones I had that were dry stems, when the weather got warmer, they were growing much better compared to that one there. And the ones that were already green in the store, I never got a single fruit from it. These were all dry stems doing much better. Okay, rosemary that I bought in the store, because I love rosemary and I have given up on planting them. Anybody has some tips on how to grow rosemary, please let me know. But from the seed, it's taking a long time. This are some peas, dollar store peas. Oh my gosh. Okay, so last night I was here because it was raining and I was moving these plants to the shade. This was what was happening. All my beautiful vines were like drying up. All my blossoms had fallen off. But it's been 24 hours. Look what's going on. They were not there last night. That's some magic stuff. These were not here last night. How is that possible? That's very fast. But yeah, $1. I planted a dozen and 6 of them grew. And I'm telling you, these are only about 1 month old. So I guess peas grow very quickly. So this whole idea, guys, is to see if I grow plants from scratch versus having them from the store, which one can be maintained and which one's going to produce the best fruit. I'm no longer going to keep them inside because I have my dog with me and he was eating up all my plants. I was worried about the squirrels, but my dog and the birds were doing more damage than the squirrels actually were. So yeah, this is the end of the video. This is my little herb and fruit garden. Alright, thanks everybody.